imagining this rain that we've had over the last week is about drove you nuts. As me, I'm just trying to accept what is. Our morning class is for the core this morning, and we'll do it in a gentle way that's doable for everyone. I have with me this morning a chair, and I also have a bolster and a couple of blankets. The bolster's just, if you choose to use that underneath the legs for Shavasana, or maybe you just use your blankets. Either one is fine. But I wanted to share a little bit from Yoga 365. It's called Yoga is Asana. The Sanskrit word asana means a seat or a pose, which is why you sometimes hear the physical practice of yoga referred to as yoga asana. You also see and hear the word asana at the end of a pose names written in Sanskrit. And for example, Dandasana. Dandasana, danda means staff, and asana means pose, staff pose. Trikonasana, triko being triangle, asana being pose. Sukhasana, easy seated pose. Each asana invites you to take a specific seat in order to answer a question or solve a problem with the body. How do I experience myself in triangle pose as opposed to handstand? How does my breath change from pose to pose? What can I learn about myself through movement and breath? What do I feel within my body in each asana? When you perform any asana, you take a particular seat of inquiry. Through this process, you learn about yourself. Your body becomes aware, articulate, and intelligent. Yoga asana cultivates an intelligence of the body. So with today's class, as we gently work on our core, ask yourself these questions today. How does my breath change from pose to pose? What can I learn about myself through movement and breath? And what do I feel within my body in each asana? So let's take a comfortable seat and focus on our breath. We all should take time, even if it's just 5 minutes a day, to go somewhere and sit quietly and focus on the breath. That in itself is a little bit of meditation. So let's draw the flesh away from our sitting bones. Allow the shoulders to be stacked directly over top of the pelvis, but keep the natural curve of the lumbar spine. Ground the buttock bones into your props and then gently lift the sides of the waist upward. Broaden across your collarbones and relax the shoulder blades down the back. Drop your gaze towards the floor or allow your eyes to close. Before we take our attention to the breath, allow your attention to be with the physical body. Are the sensations speaking to me in this pose? Do I need to readjust something, or do I need to change the pose completely? If the body is not completely comfortable, you'll not be able to focus on the breath. If your body is comfortable, turn your attention to the breath. Follow your inhale and follow your exhale. Notice the parts of the body that move with each inhale. Notice the parts of the body that soften with the exhale. And if at any time the mind begins to wander, and it will, gently rein your attention back to your breath. If you wish to set an intention for your practice, please take a moment to do so. And join your palms together in front of your heart center. Gently bow head to heart. And take a moment to offer gratitude for the divine being that you are. Release your hands down and gently open your eyes and lift your gaze. So I'm going to slide my chair out of the way just a little bit. Again, and switch the cross of your legs. So we often get in a habit of sitting the same way, and we need to start breaking those samskaras, those habits, and switch it up a little bit. Okay, so take the arms out to the side, and as you inhale, take your arms up and overhead. Bend at the elbows, interlace your fingers, and then lift your palms upward to the ceiling. Bow your chin to your chest. So root the sitting bones down as you lift upward through the spine. And then take a breath into the side ribs, the front body, the back body. Feel that opening, that expansion. And can you keep that opening as you exhale? And then release your arms out to the sides and down. Gently lift your head. Now let's take the arms into Gauridasana. So bring the arms shoulder level. We'll begin with crossing the right arm over the left. So I've crossed at the elbows and then lift the back of the hands to each other. So for some of you, this may work perfect. Some of you might like to just give yourself a hug. And some of you may be able to set your left hand inside your right. If you have the hands set inside each other, lift your left arm into your right arm. Move your forearms forward away from the body and feel your shoulder blades spread. And then deepen the breath. See if you can take a deep breath in. And how did the breath change the pose? One more breath. And then release the arms, take them out to the sides again. We'll go to the other side. So this time your left arm crosses over your right. You can work here if need be. You can give yourself a hug, or you can set your right hand inside your left. Lift the bottom arm to the top arm. Move the forearms forward, and what did you notice happening in the body? Can you deepen the breath? How did the breath change your pose? And then release the arms. Take the arms out to the sides and down. Now I don't have a belt handy with me for today for Gomukhasana arms. We don't necessarily need that. We can just see ourselves touching our hands, or we can hold on to our shirt if need be. So let's take your right arm up alongside the ear. Use your left hand to spin the triceps in towards the face, and then bend at the elbow. Take your left arm off to the side, spin the thumb down, and sweep it behind the back on your exhalation. Keep the head level in line with the spine. Now, maybe your fingers aren't touching, maybe you just have the hand behind the back. That's okay. We're just using this as a bit of a warm-up. So let's take a couple of deep breaths here. What happened in the body? Sometimes when I try to take my body too far, too fast, my knees want to pop up. Or I poke my ribs forward, so soften the front ribs back. Or I even do a little funky thing with the head. So keep the head in line with the spine. And then deepen the breath. And then release the bottom arm, top arm, slowly comes down. Take your left arm up. Use your right hand. Spin the tricep inward towards the face. Bend the elbow. Drop the hand down between the back. Take your right arm off to the side. Spin the thumb down. Take the hand behind the back on the exhalation. How do your two sides differ? What happened in the legs? Did the inner groins grip and pop the legs up? Did you poke the ribs forward? Can you soften them back? And is the head in line with the spine? Deepen the breath. One more. And then release the arms down by your sides. Let's take an easy twist to the right. And center, and an easy twist to the left. And center, and then extend the legs forward in staff pose. The knees have been, the legs have been crossed for a bit, so there might be some tension in your knees, and let's counter that by contracting the quadriceps. Press the thigh bones down as you push out through your 4 points of your feet. Release, contract, press down, release, and one more, contract, press down, release. Okay, so we're going to come down onto all fours. I want to show downward facing dog from the floor and also from the chair. So let me pull my chair forward first. So I've got at least 2 legs of the chair on the sticky mat. And I walk my feet back so that my feet are directly underneath the pelvis and the torso is long. So this could be your variation of downward facing dog. And if that's too much for your body, use the kitchen sink. Okay, so I'm going to come down, set the chair off to the side. Okay, so from tabletop, I'm going to walk my hands one hand width forward. So the hand is at a diagonal to the shoulder. Tuck the toes under, lift the hips up and back, and legs will be straight. So press down into the floor with your hands to assist the lift of the body away from the floor. Spread the shoulder blades, wrap your outer armpit chest towards the floor. Contract the bottom of the belly upward towards the heart. And then lift your kneecaps and thighs upward. If you need to walk your dog, you can bend one knee, pressing the heel to the floor. And then switch it out. Be in the pose long enough to notice, what do I feel in my calf? Did I lose the lift of the belly? We'll do one more time. And then drop the knees to the floor. And let's take the hips back into a child's pose. Okay. So now we're going to come into more of our work. And I'll keep my notes handy here. So from tabletop, now if you have hardwood floors underneath your mat, you might want to put a blanket down for your knees, but there's carpet under my mat. So let's come to what's called tabletop. Hands directly underneath the shoulders, knees directly underneath the pelvis. And this could also be done standing at your chair. And so the hands would be on the chair, feet would be on the floor, still taking the same shape. But what I want you to focus on is, what is the belly doing? So when you inhale, can you feel the belly move towards the floor? And when you exhale, can you exaggerate it a little bit and draw the belly in towards the spine a bit more? Let's take another breath in, feel the belly move towards the floor. And as you exhale, exaggerate the breath a little bit, the exhalation. And then one more, inhaling and exhaling. Now, we add an arm. Okay, so keep the left hand grounded to the floor, but lift your right arm level with the shoulder. Okay, now, again, focus in the belly. Okay, so as you inhale, feel your belly expand. And then as you exhale, can you focus on drawing the belly in and up? One more breath. And then lower the arm down. Pause for a breath. So let's try the other side. Okay. So lift the left arm level with the shoulder, or maybe a little bit higher. Okay. Focus on the belly. Can you inhale? And then exhale. Maybe over-exaggerate that breath just a little. 2 more breaths. And lower the arm down. So if you need to, you can rock back onto your toes, roll your hands out. Okay, and now let's come back to all fours, and we take it to the back body. So, take your right toes towards the back edge of your sticky mat, hands still under shoulders. Okay, I want you to imagine you're going to lift your leg off the floor, but don't let it happen. What I want you to pay attention to is the engagement of the muscles, even if you don't lift the leg. Okay? Now, let's lift the leg off the floor, level with the pelvis, toes towards the floor, and then focus on your breath. Still over-exaggerating the exhalation just a little bit. And then bring the leg to the floor. Rock your hips back a little bit. Give your arms a break. And then let's come up and try the second side. So let's take the leg back. We'll hold the leg towards the floor. Imagine you're going to lift it for 3 breaths. Feel the muscles be toning. And then lift the leg as you exhale. Hold for 3 breaths. So notice in the body if you created tension somewhere. And if you did, then go back to another stage. The breath and the body should remain smooth and balanced. Bring the knee back down, rock your hips back. And then come up onto the buttocks to heels, or you can tuck your toes under buttocks to heels. Roll your wrist out. Okay. So now we're going to repeat it, adding arm and leg, opposite arm and leg, and still for 3 breaths. Okay. So, right leg goes back. Imagine you're going to lift it, but don't let it lift. Notice where there's muscle engagement. And then lift the leg, and then lift the arm. 3 breaths. And then arm and leg come down. Let's try the other side. Take the left leg back. Imagine you're going to lift it, but don't quite let it happen. 3 breaths. And then flip the leg away from the floor, add the arm, and remember if it creates extra tension in the body somewhere, back out somewhere. 3 breaths. begin to do a little bit of a dynamic child's pose. So knees are just a little bit wider than the hips. I want to walk my hands a little bit more forward. And you'll use your exhalation to over-exaggerate just a little bit. So as you exhale, begin to take your hips back towards your heels. Exaggerate your exhalation. And then as you inhale, come forward. And then as you exhale, rock back, exaggerate that exhalation. And as you inhale, come forward. And as you exhale, exaggerate the exhalation. And then you can keep going. We have 3 more we'll add on. Okay, so you can, as you exhale, bend the elbows towards the floor, then the chest, and then push your hips back. And then inhale up. And then exhale, elbows bend, chest towards floor. Notice what muscles are engaging to help make this happen. And now plank pose. So shoulders over wrist. I want to show 3 different variations for you before we actually start working with the breath. So the full one, okay, head all the way down towards the heels, a straight line. Okay, number 2 variation. Number 2 variation could also just be this one, knees down to floor. Okay, 3 variation could be on your forearms, here, and then plank with your chair, okay? Which would be from this tabletop position, walking the feet back, dropping the pelvis towards the chair. All beneficial, okay? So, I'm gonna start 3 breaths, full plank, 3 breaths, forearm plank, 3 breaths, full plank, okay? Feel free to join in. Okay, so knees are on the floor. I'm gonna lift my knees off the floor. So press your hands down, spread across the shoulder blades. Inner elbows face each other. Core is engaged as you reach the heels back and away from the head. And then drop the knees to the floor. We'll come down onto the forearms. Okay. Elbows are in line with the shoulders. Walk your legs back. Push your forearms down, spread the shoulder blades. Engage the core. Lengthen the heels away from the head. And then drop the knees to the floor. Rock your hips back, child's pose. And then a 3 breath full plank. Now, know if you're doing it with the chair, all 3 of them would be done on the chair. Okay, so lift the knees off the floor, full plank, 3 breaths. Press the hands down, spread the shoulder blades, lift the bottom of the belly, sacrum towards the heels, heels away from the head. And knees down. So now we'll come on down to the back body for recline Tadasana. Okay. So, alrighty. I don't have my mat position exactly right. Okay, so let's take the arms up and overhead. And then as you exhale, draw your right knee into your chest. Hold it in. And then inhale, arms overhead, leg out. Exhale, left knee to chest. And then inhale, arms overhead, leg out. Exhale, both knees to chest. Okay, and then let's let the feet come to the floor. Slide the legs back out. And still stay in that reclined Tadasana, but with your arms down by your sides. And notice if your back ribs are towards the floor or if they're poking up and away from the floor. So if they are, can you soften the front ribs down? Okay, and then with an inhalation, just take your arms up and overhead. Notice what happens in the rib cage. Did they poke up? And then as you exhale, float them back down. Let's try it again. What happens? Inhale, take the arms up and overhead. Did the ribs pop up to help you take the arms over? And then as you exhale, bring the arms back down. Now can you pin the front ribs to the back ribs to the floor? That creates a tonus here. Okay, and as you inhale, can you take your arms up and overhead? And as you exhale, bring them down. As you inhale, bring them up and overhead, ribs to floor. One more. And then relax the body. So I'm going to roll over to the side. See what else I put in here, okay? All right, so we're going to go back to imagining we're lifting the leg. Okay? So, all right, from reclined, just arms down by your sides. Put your awareness in your right leg. Activate everything as if you were going to lift it off the floor, but don't quite lift it. And then lift the leg off the floor about an inch or two. Where do you feel this in the body? 3 breaths. And lower down. Awareness in your left leg. Activate the muscles of the leg as if you were going to lift it. And then lift the leg off the floor 2 or 3 inches, 3 breaths. How does this side differ? And lower. Let's go back to the right. Imagine you're going to lift the leg, so contract the muscles. Now lift the leg 2 to 3 inches. 3 breaths. And lower. Left side. Imagine you're going to imagine you're going to lift it, but contract the muscles to help you do that. Lift the leg off the floor. And lower. Let's go to the right side. Mind in the right leg. Imagine you're going to lift it off the floor. So contract. Now lift. And lower. go back to the left, contract. Imagine you're going to lift it, but don't let it happen. And lift. And lower. Now, where in the body are you creating tension? We have 3 more. So contract the leg. Lift the leg. 3 breaths. Relax the face, relax the jaw, relax across the chest. And lower. Left side, contract, lift. And lower. 2 more. So that's, imagine you're going to lift it, so contract, lift, 2 to 3 inches off the floor. Lower. Left side, contract it as if to lift it. Lift. Lower. Right side, contract, lift, lower. Left side, last time, and we add on. So contract as if you're going to lift it off the floor, but don't. Lift the leg, 2 to 3 inches. And lower. Now, I noticed in my body when I'm doing that there was a little teeter-totter in the hips and the pelvis area. I don't know that you noticed it, but you could place your hands to your hips to help keep a little more stability there for this next one. So contract the muscles of the leg as if you're going to lift it. What did you feel? And then lift the leg 2 to 3 inches and carry it out to the side about 5 or 6. And if you need to back out, then please do. Bring the leg back in, lower down. Let's go to the left side. Hands to pelvis, contract the left leg. Lift the left leg. Take the leg to the left. 5 or 6 inches. You might notice some weaknesses here in the body. Bring the leg in, lower the leg down. Let's go back to the right. Contract the leg. Lift the leg 2 or 3 inches. Take the leg to the right, 3, 6, 9 inches away from the body, whatever works for you. Make it equal on both sides though. Bring it back to center and down. To the left, contract, lift 2 or 3 inches. Take the leg to the side, 3, 6, 9 inches away from the body. Bring it in and down. Let's go back to the right. Contract the leg. Lift the leg. Take the leg to the right. 3 full breaths. Leg comes in and down. So go to the left, so contract the leg. Lift the leg 2 or 3 inches. Carry the leg to the left. Push out through your feet. Breath should still be smooth and even. Bring your leg in. Now, for today's class, we'll just do the 3, but I encourage you to practice more at home, building up to 9 on each side, if that works for you. So let's now bend the right knee into the chest, and then the left knee into the chest. Just hold there for a moment, stretching out the low back, and let's just coordinate a little bit of movement with breath. So as you inhale, back your knees out away from the body, and then as you exhale, maybe over-exaggerate that exhalation, pulling the knees in. And then inhale back out. Exhale, bring it in. Inhale back out. Exhale, bring it in. And then let's float the feet to the floor. How was it? Okay. So now let's take the legs straight up to the ceiling and try to keep the legs at 90 degrees. So not in towards the head, not too far away. And if that's too much for your body, then by all means maybe work here with bent knees. But keep your front ribs towards the back ribs towards the mat, okay? So it helps keep a tonus to the belly. And then let's just focus on the breath and keeping back ribs down. Soften the face, relax the jawline, relax across the shoulders. Anybody feel a little bit of core working? And then bend the knees, float the feet to the floor. Okay, so the next exercise, we'll take the legs back up again, but we'll add a little breath and movement, okay? So let's take the legs back up again. Okay, inhale, separate the legs about 6 inches. Exhale, lower the legs towards the floor a little bit. Inhale, bring the legs together. Exhale, bring the legs back to 90. Inhale the legs apart. Exhale, lower. Inhale, legs together. Exhale, legs up. Keep the front ribs towards the floor, even if you have to use your hands to help that happen. Inhale the legs apart. Exhale, lower. Inhale together. Exhale, up. Inhale, legs apart. Exhale, lower. Inhale, legs together. Exhale, legs up. Let's do 2 more. Inhale, legs apart. Exhale, lower. Inhale together. Exhale, up. Inhale, legs apart. Exhale, lower. Inhale, legs together. Exhale, legs up. Bend the knees, Lower the feet to the floor. Knock your knees inward. Take a couple of breaths with the eyes closed. Observe the body. Okay, all right. So let's reverse it. Legs are going to go up and they're going to be apart, okay? So this time, as you inhale, bring the legs together. As you exhale, lower. As you inhale, open. Exhale, up. Inhale together. Exhale, lower. 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 Inhale, open. Exhale, up. Inhale together. Exhale, bend the knees. Lower the feet down. You can drop the knees in towards each other. Close the eyes. Okay, so walk the feet back in so that they're hip distance apart. And we'll be doing a little bit of dropping the knees to one side as we take the arms overhead, twisting kind of action. So I'll do one so you can see it, and then we'll do it together. So as I inhale, the arms are going to go up and the legs are going to drop to the side. And as I inhale up, bringing the knees up, arms going to come back down. And then exhale over to the left, knees to the left, arms go up and back to center, okay? So we're going to work with 9 of those. Inhaling, take the arms up, legs go to the right. And then come to center, arms down. Exhaling, over to the left, arms up. Inhaling, center. Exhaling, right. Inhaling, center. Exhaling, left. Inhaling, center. Exhaling, right. Exhale, in center. Exhaling, left. Sorry about that. Inhaling, center. Exhaling, right. Inhaling, center. Exhaling, left. Inhaling, center. 5 more. Exhaling, right. Inhaling, center. Exhaling, left. Inhaling, center. 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 Last time. Exhaling, right. Center. Exhaling, left. Center. Take a moment to feel in the body. And so I'll add a dynamic bridge and a few other little pieces to it. So with the bridge pose, the hips will lift, the arms go overhead, Okay? So as you inhale, lift the hips up, arms overhead, lengthen the thigh bones away from the pelvis. And then exhale, lower down. Okay, let's do that 2 more times. Inhaling, lifting up, thigh bones lengthen away from the pelvis. Exhale, lower down. 1 more. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, lower down. Okay, so this is where we start adding on. Inhale, lift the hips up. Exhale, lower hips to floor, float the knees into the chest. Add the arms overhead, legs up. And then exhale, lower to the floor. Inhale, dynamic bridge. Exhale, lower the hips, knees towards the chest. Inhale, arms overhead, legs up. Exhale, hands and feet to floor. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, knees towards chest. Inhaling, lift legs and arms. Exhale, lower down. Inhaling, lift up. Exhaling, hips to floor, knees to chest. Inhale, arms overhead, leg up. Exhale, feet and hands to the floor. So you could continue on with those if you would like, but for sake of the length of the video, we're going to leave it right where it's at. So now let's set up for Shavasana. So let's get my 2 blankets, because that might, not everybody may not have a bolster. Now where you put the blanket will be up to you, and where you feel most release in the low back. You may have created some tension there, hopefully not. So you could put it up more towards the buttocks, or you could even back it out and have it more towards the knees. And for me today, it feels really good up underneath the thigh bones. Okay, so let's let the arms drop out to the sides. Allow the eyes to close. And then just check in with the body. What is the body feeling? Does the body feel a little more alive? Can it feel the breath moving through the body a little better? For the purpose of the video today, I'll be coming out, but please know that you are more than welcome to stay in Shavasana as long as your body feels the need. And also please know that Shavasana doesn't have to be done on the floor. It can be done seated in a chair. So if you've lifted yourself upward, take a comfortable seat. And then just sit upright with the eyes closed and just listen to these questions. How did I experience myself today in the poses? How did my breath change from pose to pose? Did I learn anything about myself with movement and breath? And was I able to feel my body in the asana? Hopefully you had some answers to all of your questions that I asked that you pose to yourself. So taking that upright seat again, lift hands together in front of your heart center. And with a grateful heart, I thank each of you for joining me today. Namaste. Have a a beautiful day, everyone.